Yeah, this is a great example of how AI can be tricky to use. This is a customer of mine. They were using this AI service to help their customers participate in some deals that this Eagle AI service provides. And I think the whole point here is that they plug their online store into this AI service, and it allows them to have their customers get certain deals, discounts through this ecosystem. And so naturally, the way that you plug this in is you give it access to your production environment. And so you can see on the left-hand side here, this is the production configuration. It has a database username and password to a production database. That's hard coded, so obviously that's bad. I can take this if I had access to the code and go and use that. I've also got access to both a Datadog API and a private cert that's used to authenticate that. And so all that's sitting in production. And the problem here is that when this developer was going through and provisioning this across all of their other environments, they took that same production API key and certificate and copied it to three non-prod environments. And this illustrates the fundamental problem that folks will have when mass deploying AI is that ultimately these agents or services, they all need to have credentials at some point, some place where they can either use credentials to get to your database or API keys to get into your environment. But whatever that is, those need to be protected. And you can see here it's subject to the same human errors that we have everywhere else, where you take these and they've copied them to all of their environments. So now people in non-production environments can theoretically get access to this production service. And that's clearly something that shouldn't ever be done. It's something that you'll see a lot more of as APIs, especially agentic AI, gets spread out across your environment. And so Entro is very well positioned to help identify these types of problems and then help you lock them down. Because if we can lock this down, if we can make sure that all of the non-human identities are both secure, they're not being pushed into environments they don't belong, they're not being hard coded or exposed, and to make sure that they're not being given permissions they don't need. But if we can lock those down, then it doesn't really matter what people are trying to do with the agentic AI because they'll be stuck or they'll be put in a bit of a box and not allowed to get outside of that box. And that's ultimately the way that you really should think about securing agentic AI specifically, but really all AI in general is locking down these NHIs. And again, that's what Entro is really good at.